Welcome to Mega Fact Attack, where we drop mind-blowing facts about everything you thought you knew. Today, we're jumping into one of the spookiest holidays of the year, Halloween. From ancient Celtic traditions to the billion-dollar industry it's become, Halloween has a rich and surprising history. Stick around as we reveal 5 facts that will change the way you see October 31st. Ever wonder where a jack-o'-lantern came from? Or why candy corn is still a thing? And did you know Halloween was once linked to finding love? Stay tuned because we're about to attack some mega facts. Let's jump in. As the leaves turn and the air becomes crisp, we find ourselves in a season filled with mystery and magic. It's Halloween, but this beloved holiday is so much more than just spooky costumes and trick-or-treating. Its origins are steeped in history with traditions that have evolved over thousands of years. From the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, where the boundary between the living and the dead blurred, to the playful practices of fortune-telling and the rise of candy consumption, Halloween has a fascinating story to tell. Join me as I explore the intriguing history behind Halloween's most beloved traditions, revealing how they have shaped the holiday that we know and love today. Each year, on October 31st, millions of people celebrate Halloween with costumes, party, and trick-or-treating. But did you know this modern holiday has ancient roots dating back over 2,000 years? Today, we're diving into the Celtic origins of Halloween and its connection to the mysterious festival of Samhain. The Celts, a group of tribes spread across Europe, were known for their deeply spiritual connection with nature. One of their most significant celebrations was Samhain, a festival marking the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. For the Celts, winter wasn't just a season. It was the time when the boundary between the world of the living and the dead became blurred. On the night of October 31st, the Celts believed that the veil between the two worlds was at its thinnest, allowing spirits, both good and bad, to cross over. As part of the Samhain festival, they would light large bonfires to guide friendly spirits and to ward off the more malevolent ones. To protect themselves from these wandering spirits, the Celts would wear costumes, often made from animal skins, and masks to disguise their identities. They believed that by blending in with the spirits, they could avoid harm. Samhain was also a time for Druid priests to perform sacred rituals. They would offer sacrifices of animals and crops to appease these gods, seeking protection through the long, harsh winter. They also believed that the spirits of deceased ancestors returned to visit their families, so food and offerings were left out to welcome them. Over time, as the Romans conquered Celtic lands and Christianity spread, many of the traditions of Samhain blended with Roman and Christian festivals. Eventually, this evolved into the Halloween we know today. But the essence of Samhain, honoring the dead and celebrating the transition into the darker half of the year, remains at the heart of the holiday. So this year, as you put on a costume or carve a pumpkin, remember, you're taking part in a tradition that's over 2 millennia old, rooted in the ancient Celtic belief that, for one night each year, the spirits of the dead walk among us. Every Halloween, homes are decorated with glowing jack-o'-lanterns, their carved faces lighting up the night. But did you know that this beloved Halloween tradition didn't originally involve pumpkins? In fact, the first jack-o'-lanterns were made from turnips. This tradition of carving vegetables dates back to the ancient times, where the Celts would place the carved turnips outside their homes to protect themselves during Samhain. These early jack-o'-lanterns served as a spiritual defense against wandering spirits that might bring harm or mischief. Centuries later, this practice evolved into a more specific folklore, the tale of Stingy Jack. In Irish legend, Jack was a trickster who managed to trap the devil and made him promise never to claim his soul. When Jack died, neither heaven or hell would take him, and he was left to roam the earth forever, carrying a burning ember inside a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. This is how the first jack-o'-lantern was born. When Irish immigrants came to America during the 19th century, they brought their Samhain traditions and the story of Stingy Jack with them. But in America, they found something much more suitable for carving: pumpkins. Pumpkins were larger, easier to carve, and abundant in the U.S., so the tradition adapted to this new environment. Over time, the pumpkin replaced the turnip, and the practice of carving jack-o'-lanterns became an integral part of Halloween celebrations. The soft, hollow pumpkins allowed for much more elaborate designs, and soon they became a hallmark of the holiday, with glowing faces welcoming or warning those who approached. Though the materials have changed, the meaning behind the jack-o'-lantern remains rooted in the ancient Celtic celebration of Samhain, marking the connection between the living and the dead and serving as protection against spirits roaming the earth on Halloween night. Today, whether you're carving a spooky face or a fun design, the jack-o'-lantern is more than just a decoration. It's a tradition that stretches back to the ancient Celts, passed down through generations and transformed by the story of Stingy Jack. Candy corn, it's one of the most recognizable Halloween treats. Whether you love it or hate it, this tricolored candy has been around for over a century. But did you know it wasn't always associated with Halloween? In fact, candy corn originally went by a different name and had a very specific target audience. To understand the history of candy corn, we have to go back to the 1880s, a time when agriculture was at the heart of American life. It was during this time that the Goelitz Confectionery Company, which would later become known as the Jelly Belly Candy Company, developed a unique new candy designed to look like kernels of corn. The process for making candy corn was labor-intensive. Sugar, corn syrup, and all other ingredients were cooked and poured into 3-layer molds to create the now iconic white, orange, and yellow look. Each piece was designed to resemble a kernel of corn, and the candy's resemblance to real corn was no coincidence. When candy corn was first introduced, it wasn't even called candy corn. It was actually marketed as chicken feed. The candy was primarily sold to farmers in rural communities because of its corn shape, and the original packaging even featured a rooster to appeal to its target market. Back then, corn was mainly associated with feeding livestock, not people. So candy corn, or chicken feed, was seen as a novelty, perfect for farmers and anyone familiar with agricultural life. The name played on the idea that if chickens ate corn kernels, maybe people could enjoy a sweeter version as well. It wasn't until the 1950s that candy corn became associated with Halloween. As the holiday grew in popularity and candy companies began marketing directly for Halloween, candy corn became a staple treat due to its harvest colors and affordability. Its small, bite-sized pieces made it easy to hand out to trick-or-treaters, and soon it became a Halloween icon. Today, over 35 million pounds of candy corn are produced each year, mostly during the Halloween season. Some people love candy corn, while others aren't so sure. But did you know that Halloween was once linked with finding love? That's right. Long before it was all about spooky costumes and trick-or-treating, Halloween was a night full of romantic fortune-telling and hopes of discovering your future spouse. The tradition dates back to the 18th and 19th centuries in places like Ireland and Scotland. While the night was still believed to be a time when spirits roamed the earth, it was also considered an ideal opportunity to peer into the future, especially when it came to matters of the heart. One of the most popular Halloween customs was fortune-telling games, often played by young women eager to learn who their future husband would be. They believed that on this night, supernatural forces were at their most powerful, allowing them to get a glimpse of their romantic destiny. One of the most famous Halloween games was apple bobbing, but it wasn't just for fun. It was also a love ritual. The first person to successfully bite into an apple was said to be the next to marry. In some versions of the game, each apple was assigned to a different suitor, and the one you grabbed was thought to reveal the name of your future spouse. Another popular Halloween tradition involved looking into a mirror by candlelight. Young women would stare into the mirror at the stroke of midnight, hoping to catch a glimpse of their future husband's face appearing over their shoulder. It was believed that the spirits would reveal the secret on Halloween night. Even something as simple as peeling an apple became a form of fortune telling. After peeling the apple in one long strip, the peel would be thrown over the shoulder. The shape it landed in was said to reveal the first letter of the woman's future husband's name. For generations, these games made Halloween more than just a spooky holiday. It was a night filled with hopes of love and marriage. While these customs may seem strange to us today, they show how Halloween was once a celebration not only of the supernatural, but of the romantic possibilities the future held. When it comes to holidays in the United States, Halloween is no small affair. What was once a simple night of tricks and treats has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, Halloween is now the second most commercial holiday in the U.S., just behind Christmas. Each year, Americans spend over $10 billion on Halloween. That's right, billions. The biggest expense? Costumes, decorations, candy, and, of course, parties. Let's break it down. First up, costumes. Whether it's superheroes, classic monsters, or something more creative, Americans love dressing up for Halloween. Each year, consumers spend nearly $3.6 billion on costumes alone. And it's not just for the kids. Adults and even pets are getting in on the fun. Next is decorations. Gone are the days of a simple carved pumpkin. Today, Halloween decorations have reached new heights. With everything from inflatable ghosts and animatronic skeletons to haunted house setups right in your front yard, Americans spend around $3.4 billion on turning their homes into spooky spectacles. And of course, we can't forget about the candy. Halloween is one of the biggest candy-selling holidays of the year. In total, Americans spend more than $3.1 billion on sweets for trick-or-treaters, Halloween parties, and, let's be honest, for snacking before the big night even arrives. Halloween is also a time for parties. From haunted houses to costume parties, Americans go all out. With spending on party supplies, food, drink, and entertainment, millions are spent every year to make Halloween celebrations unforgettable. And it's not just in the stores. Halloween has a huge online presence, with many people shopping for costumes, decorations, and party supplies online. In recent years, online shopping for Halloween has skyrocketed, contributing significantly to the overall spending. While it may have started as a simple holiday for dressing up and warding off spirits, Halloween has transformed into a major commercial event that Americans of all ages enjoy. From haunted houses to elaborate costumes, it's no surprise that Halloween spending is only growing each year. Halloween has transformed significantly over the centuries, from its ancient Celtic origins in Samhain, where the spirits roamed the earth, to the beloved traditions we cherish today. The holiday continues to captivate us. Take the jack-o'-lantern, for example. What began as carved turnips to ward off evil spirits has evolved into the glowing pumpkins adorning our doorsteps. And who could forget candy corn? Originally dubbed chicken feed, this sweet treat ties back to American agriculture and has become a Halloween staple. Once Halloween was also a time for finding love with fortune-telling games that offered glimpses into romantic futures. This adds a unique twist to the holiday traditions. Today, Halloween is a billion-dollar business, with Americans spending over $10 billion annually on costumes, decorations, and candy, making it the second most commercial holiday in the U.S. From ancient roots to modern festivities, Halloween remains a night of magic and fun. So as you enjoy your jack-o'-lanterns and candy corn, remember, you're part of a tradition that continues to evolve. Hey guys! If you enjoyed these cool Halloween facts, make sure to smash that like button. And if you don't want to miss out on more random trivia, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, you'll be the first to know when I drop the next 5 facts video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.